All right, Kelley, so we're going to sit down for another article from the 1979 season. Dad did bi-monthly articles, and we have these luckily captured by our Aunt Kaye, who cut them all out and put them in this scrapbook for us.
Completely incredible.
Yeah, and she did this back in the 79 season. Again, Dad would write a bi-monthly article. This is the second installment of that, and now this is after he's won Bristol. So he's now a winner. We read the first one where he was like, "Hey, we're getting close. I'm feeling it. We're anticipating it."
But yet not having the greatest start to the season either.
No, it's been a tough year.
Yeah.
So let's get right to it. Earnhardt still rides on cloud 9. Young Dale Earnhardt hasn't been labeled a stock car racing phenom yet, but that might just be a matter of time. The 27-year-old driving sensation from Kannapolis scored an astounding victory in Bristol's recent Southeastern 500 with his Osterlin Racing Chevrolet to become the first Grand National Rookie of the Year candidate to win a Winston Cup event since the 1974 season. The popular victory was especially meaningful to the personable Earnhardt. He was a toddler of 4 when his late father, Ralph Earnhardt, won NASCAR's Late Model Sportsman National title in 1956. Young Earnhardt epitomizes the second-generation professional athlete who has made it on his own ability. For example, Richard Petty and Buddy Baker are sons of former Grand National driving champions. This is the second installment in a bi-monthly series by Dale Earnhardt. It's a unique from-the-cockpit look at the 1979 Grand National scene by a rookie driver competing in the world's most popular form of auto racing. By Dale Earnhardt. Kannapolis. So they start they each start from a different town, right?
Oh, okay.
It tells you kind of like where
they were.
Where's Dad?
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Right now he's in Kannapolis.
All right.
The next one might say, Mooresville or whatever, right? The first word in this column is huh.
Huh?
H-U-H with a question
I'm
mark.
going to say, no, what was that thing we always said? None of your business, none your huh? I can't imagine saying huh to Dad.
Right.
I don't think we were allowed to say huh.
Remember him telling us not to say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh? Earnhardt wins the Bristol race? Now that is something to write about. I mean, we're not out here running to lose. Our whole crew has a lot of confidence, and I'm confident too. But I've got to be honest. I didn't think our first victory would come this early in the season. It's incredible. I'm so pumped. It's unbelievable. I can't even sleep late anymore. And I love to sleep late. I wish I had known that.
Oh, gosh. I wish I'd have. Yeah, that'd have been handy to know, wouldn't it, when he's banging on your door?
Yeah. He used to give me such a hard time
Trying
about
to get
sleeping late.
Nobody ever told us that.
There's a lot of things that he gave us a hard time about that I'm finding out that he did quite a bit
of. Well, that may have been why he gave us a hard time. I think that's what parents do. They don't want you to repeat their mistakes.
The other morning, I jumped out of bed. You're going to love this. Ran 2 miles.
2 miles? I'm just ran up to the end of the street and back.
Rode my bike another mile.
What?
Wait till you hear the next one.
Bike.
Wait till you hear the next one. And then spent almost an hour on the tennis court practicing my serve.
Tennis court? Where'd he go for that one at? A tennis court, practicing his serve. I never knew that.
All before it was time for breakfast.
I got to recover. Tennis court. I never knew. I can't even picture it.
Do you think
are we in jorts in the tennis court? Like, where are we?
So do you think that he's so he's in this? So he's in this air. Do you think he's in this sort of situation in life where he doesn't know what to do with himself? He's like,
must be. I'm just trying to go through who can we fact check this with?
I've never seen this man hold a racket.
Seen him cause a racket, not hold a racket, not tennis. Tennis.
He did buy a set of golf clubs that he used maybe less than 6 times.
Yeah, he wasn't.
They ended up getting given. Yeah, they gave those to Uncle Randy. So I wonder.
Tennis.
Yeah, I wonder if there was a moment where he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do some tennis. So I need an activity, right? Some sort of an active workout driven, and maybe he bought a racket. Maybe he went and practiced his serve, and this probably lasted about 3 weeks till he gave it up.
Yeah. We're gonna have to
either that or it's just a lie, right?
I don't know. I could see Jared Whitlock maybe playing tennis. Maybe he got him into it.
Maybe he got him into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something. I just can't believe that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to stew on this one for a bit.
We'll continue. What a difference a win makes. The week before, I was on the mower, aerating my mother's lawn, sowing fescue grass seed, and spreading 150 pounds of fertilizer.
I can see him doing that. He did get into some agriculture work.
I even ran her a new drain line for the washing machine. Now I'm so pumped up, all I can think about is getting to Darlington for the next race. I'm serious. Winning at Bristol is something I don't even think I can describe. I just talk about it, but I still can't express myself when it comes to how it really felt. The feeling's just there. I was in the lead during the next to last caution, and when the green flag dropped, Darrell Waltrip shot past me like a bullet. Jake Elder, who is the crew chief on the Australian car, got on the radio and said, "Hey, man, are you tired?" "Nope, I'm not tired," I said. "Are you?" Then he about cracked me up, Dad says. He got back on the radio and said, "Listen, I'm not tired, but I'm about as nervous as anyone you'll ever know." I told him a few laps later that I was going to drive our race, just like he planned. Hey, everything was working. I wasn't about to get that close and then start changing things. I had borrowed a neck strap from Richard Petty the morning of the race because Jake was worried about me getting tired. And so the neck strap will go under your armpit, and it wraps around and connects to your helmet, and you can really tie it down tight. When I started driving in 1998 in the Xfinity Series, Dad still wore those neck straps.
Oh, wow.
Same strap. And I started wearing them too just because Dad did. He continues, the track's banked so steep at Bristol that the weight of the helmet can wear your neck muscles down late in the race. The strap was attached to my shoulder harness, but we never had to use it. I was so psyched during the last 50 laps of that race that the blisters on my hands quit hurting. It was like they almost disappeared. So they ran
that
without
adrenaline.
Gloves.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Like that adrenaline, that sounds crazy.
One of the last people that I saw racing without gloves was Harry Gann, all the way up until like the 89 season. So like racing without gloves in 79 was pretty damn common. Not many people wore gloves. Right there at the end, I didn't want to think about nothing breaking. I didn't want to see no fingers from the starter telling me there was 5 laps to go. I was looking for the checkered flag, and when I got the white flag, I looked in the mirror and there wasn't nobody behind me. And I guess that's when I started feeling it. I concentrated on that last lap like it was in the middle of the race. I might have backed off a little, but I mean, I had to force myself to do it. I've never felt like that before. I got the checker flag, and when I got around to turn 2, I just let off. I started crying.
I can't imagine.
And then I was laughing at the same time. I thought about a million different things. They were just flashing through my head. I was crying and laughing and winning and thinking. There was no way to describe it. No matter what happens, I'll always savor every inch of that last lap at Bristol. Wasn't nobody in that car but me, and I'll have that feeling forever.
So, I don't know if you've come across this in kind of the research of this season, but going back to about doing the yard for his mom and all of those things. I remember, again, we've talked about, losing his dad, Ralph, and Dad's 19 at that point, 20-something, somewhere around in there, 19, 20, 21. And
but he's born in 51.
Yeah,
he's 22.
22. Okay, so 22, and you're still a youngin', and he's got younger siblings, right? Younger guy siblings, and Mamaw, and of course, you're being the oldest, you're wanting to take care of your mom. I remember a lot of conversation about this time period for Dad and moving into the early 80s also of taking care of his family and buying them presents and being part of that reward. Like his mom meant so much to him during this time period of him making it, and thinking about those things. And I just remember there was a lot of conversation about that. Bristol is also one of the places that I know for us, we went there a lot as a family, but so did they, right? I mean, the pictures that you see that we get to look at of our aunts and uncles and
all of them are there.
Everybody's there. Everybody's hands-on. Everybody's there. It's a big deal. So can you imagine that emotion coming across that finish line?
Yeah.
For all of those people, because that was Dad. That was about him, but he was about everybody else.
Yeah.
And everybody else enjoying everything that he had achieved and did. So I can see that from these stories, that I've heard.
I imagine that win was like a big relief for Kathy, his sister, Uncle Danny, Mamaw,
Randy Kaye, yeah.
All of them are wondering. This is 6 years after Ralph passed away, but there's probably still this, what's left for us, or what's next for us, or where we go from here moment, feeling.
Yeah. And, I line it up with your family. Like you were talking about, playing tennis and all this kind of stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, he's a single guy. Yeah. He's got his kids, but he doesn't have a wife. I don't even know where at this point where he's living. I don't really remember where he lived because we were living with Mom over in Kannapolis. Yeah. So before he bought the lake house, I don't really remember even where that was.
Well, at the end of 78, he was living down at Teresa's place in Charlotte.
The apartment. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe they're still girlfriend.
There.
Yeah, we don't know. Right. Yeah. So so it's just really interesting. That's
I think she's in the Victory Lane.
That's a lot to think about.
Photos at that particular race. Yeah. And so they're probably still doing that down there in Charlotte. But it is pretty fun to try to put timestamps on specific, getting to really understand where he was at and what he was doing, what his day-to-day might have been like.
And tying the emotion back to what life, because I think that's what we all do, right? We're all like, what are you in? What are you feeling? Are you having a good day, not having a good day, having a good year, not having a good year? Where are you at in life?
Well, he continues just a little further in the article with a few more paragraphs starting out. Victory Lane was unbelievable. I thought the guys in the crew were going to get in the car with me. They worked so hard, they deserve that win as much as anybody, maybe even more. Now they're really keeping me up. They want me to win the pole and the race. I drove back home with Jake, and we'd both talk about 90 miles an hour for a few minutes, and then we wouldn't say anything for a while, just glancing at each other and grinning, giggling, and laughing like little kids. So many people helped me to get started in everything that I just don't know what to say, where to start. I can't leave anybody out. Rod Osterlin gave me something that no other rookie ever got, and there were 1,000 other people. All the guys I beat at Bristol, they're the ones who helped Earnhardt's kid win that race. I'm just going to use one of these columns to thank everyone later, after things are back to normal. Right now, I just want to say, thanks, Daddy, we did it. He ends it like that, right? That's such a funny way to end it. I just want to say thanks, Daddy.
But that was a big deal.
It was, yeah. When I don't know what it is. I feel like that I go through these long spells of being perfectly content and comfortable and satisfied with my knowledge, and then something.
You read that, and it wants it forces more questions in your mind. You want to know more. That's what it is. Yeah.
I read something, or just like this. This scrapbook has really opened up a lot of curiosities and kicked off a bunch of creative thoughts about how to try to get into the mindset, right? Or try to put yourself back into that space, right? And put yourself in that moment.
I think it actually opens your mind too to maybe things that were closed off, right, for yourself, right? Because I don't remember a lot of those years and that kind of thing,
either.
And so but it does open up, and it's like, oh yeah, I remember that, or it starts putting things together. So
for sure,
yeah.
It's been a lot of fun. There are several more columns. There are a handful more of these to read. Dad was only planning to write one more of these, and that was going to be it. So he's going to do it up until the Charlotte race in May. But he will.
What was the reason for that? Did you uncover that?
I don't know why I don't know why they didn't say, "Hey, Dad, we're going to do it the whole year." I think that he was probably hard to convince.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Hey, okay, just Charlotte." And he's like, "All right, I'll do it for that."
He needed a timestamp.
Yeah, he probably heard this idea and said, "Nope, don't want to do it. Too much work. I ain't got time for that." But they convinced him to do it for a little while, and he realizes how helpful it is and how excited people are to be able to read it and engage in his season, how helpful it's been to him, and he continues. So lucky for us, there's quite a few more left.
It makes me extremely curious. I'm telling you, I don't have enough things to do in life, but right?
Take
Seriously,
the scrapbook home one night.
I'm telling you.
Hey, if you like that video, like and comment below, and don't forget to subscribe so you'll never miss another piece of Dirty Mo Media content.